So first of all, we do have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is this is like sailing over troublesome situations. Okay, in the traditional Rider-Waite, and that's the meaning that I really like because I want to use that meaning. It basically pertains to like being emotionally invested in a situation, investing a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of sweat and tears into a situation and having trouble sailing on from it. But in this case, I do feel that a lot of you have known that once you turn your back on something, it can't be gone back to and fixed. And so a lot of you are emotionally, you have moved on. In terms of physically, you are still stuck in that space, okay? So emotionally, you are done. It's like, there's no question about it. But I feel like physically, you're not just done just yet, mainly because what's coming through here is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords signifies to me an end of a conflict, okay? The Five of Swords is the minor arcana, and it basically means, not seeing eye to eye with another person. They might have said, they know how to push your buttons. They say the exact things just to get a response out of you. You yourself could have done the same thing to them. And I feel like it was a very cyclical type of a pattern where you know how to hurt each other. So I feel like you were in a situation, and like at its best it was very emotionally gratifying and physically gratifying. At its worst, it was laden with conflict, and I feel that right now the conflict is coming to an end, so things are kind of like rainbow and lollipops, but it's only a matter of time before someone steps on someone else's toes and we're back to square one, which is the conflict. So I feel like this is kind of the calm right now that you're experiencing. So I feel like the conflict is alleviated, okay? What happened in the past that you left behind was, we do have the Temperance card. And the Temperance card indicates a person, a situation where someone had trouble with emotional regulation, okay? So that means flying off the handle, someone who is excuse me, emotionally very up and down, very, very like volatile. And if you look at this card carefully, she's holding up two masks, right? And I feel like it's somebody who's very like two-sided, okay? Like two-faced, two-sided. They say one thing, they mean another, and you've always had to play the guessing game with them. They might like feel a lot of hurt and resentment, but they put on a brave face. Or they might like just say one thing and mean another. So I feel like this was a person that you might have left behind. And I feel that the situation itself, I feel like they have trouble with emotional regulations in the extreme form, okay? And then for others of you, it could simply be that, you're so different from each other. And the other person is so like... they're so hard to read. They say one thing, they mean another, and they're confusing you. And I feel like it was a situation where you felt that you couldn't get an emotional connection with them, okay? The Temperance card also indicates, so the Temperance and the Nine of Cups usually appearing together, it indicates like somebody possibly with an alcohol issue. Their personality changes drastically when they drink. They might get overly weepy or overly insecure or just, pick fights. It's somebody that has trouble regulating their emotions. So I definitely feel you have left a situation like that behind. Or it could just be simply, someone who knows how to push your buttons, gets you really riled up. And you're coming to a space where you are emotionally detaching yourself to avoid conflict and to, because you are realizing that it is unhealthy. Okay. What's crowning you, and the crowning energy is just something that you are thinking about. We do have here the Queen of Wands, which is a fire sign. So this is somebody that's on your mind, somebody that you are thinking about, okay? It's a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I feel like you're reminiscing about the good times. You're thinking about, when I was down on my luck, this person really took care of me. And this is what I call like the fairy godmother. It's somebody that really cared about you, and they don't care what you do. They don't care how much you have. They nurture you, and they nurture you like body, spirit, and soul. And it seems to me like this is somebody that You might be dealing with some difficulties for this month, and you are thinking about this person that, that you've been dealing with, and you are starting to really appreciate them, okay? And we have the Death card in the reverse, which basically means for a lot of you, you might seek out this person that was with you through thick and thin. And I feel like you might realize that this is the person that you want to be with because they were nurturing, they were caring, and they were there with you, even, even at your worst, they were there with you. So this is a really beautiful energy, and I feel like you're starting to realize for this month what really matters to you, Scorpios, in terms of love, in terms of understanding what commitment is, and understanding all that glitters is not gold, okay? And going back to that yearly reading that I did, I feel like you spent the first 2 quarters, like the first half of the year, trying to figure some things out, trying to live like a good life, trying to secure financial, trying to seek financial security. You might have neglected some relationships. And now that you are stable, I feel like you are starting to realize that actually there was this one person that was with me when I had nothing. So I feel like a lot of you are getting very nostalgic for another person and thinking about potentially trying to get a way back in with them, or curry favors with them, or trying to get back into their lives or contact them in some way, thinking about rekindling with the fire sign, okay? I'm going to say this because this energy seems to me to be very neutral. With the fire sign, I feel like what you see is pretty much what you get with them. And I feel like they were very nurturing, okay? And they're just like a really good person. I also feel like for a lot of you, it might not be a fire sign, but it might be somebody that you have children with. They might have children from a previous situation. You might have children from a previous situation. And you feel like, okay, since we're in the same station, we could blend our families together in a very harmonious way. So I feel like this is somebody that has the framework for a successful, lasting relationship, successful, lasting marriage as well. If you are in a relationship with a fire sign, I definitely feel like, a lot of mending fences with this person. I feel that you both are coming together in a way that is really meaningful. Okay, so it's a really nurturing, good energy that I'm feeling with this Queen of Wands. So let me see if there is anything else. Okay, so let's just move on ahead. The foundation here is something on which the situation is built, okay? We are dealing with the High Priestess. The High Priestess to me represents our intuition, okay? It's kind of like if in the past we have been dealing with we have been wearing those rose-colored glasses and we saw everything as like, rainbow and lollipops. This is the month in which things are being brought to focus, things are being brought to light, and imbalances in relationships, in disharmonies in relationship, lies that we tell ourselves, lie that we kept from other people, everything is pretty much coming to light, okay? It's the whole unveiling process. And with the unveiling process, we can see here with the crown chakra, she's got a flower growing on the top of her head. And that to me indicates like reaching that state of enlightenment, knowing, the truth, where we're no longer kept in the dark. We have the information so that we can make an informed decision. And I feel like that's exactly what I feel is happening for you. So a lot of you, there was a situation that you thought was done and over with, and I feel like it's making a comeback, okay? So this can pertain to a situation that you felt was very hurtful in the past. You're going back to it and you're trying to resolve it, okay? So the Ten of Swords here indicates to me this is having clarity about a situation, and this is also like overcoming past pains, past heartache in order to heal, in order to move forward, or coming to the realization that who has been there for you all along and who's very, very real to your life, okay? So I feel Scorpios, you've got a lot of reassessment that you need to do for this month. And I feel like, like on the one hand, I feel like you're choosing, I do feel temptation still. I do sense that. But I feel that you are very loyal. And once you have somebody else's loyalty, you are going to, conduct yourself in the most honest and respectful manner. It's when the boundaries are a little bit blurred. It's when you feel unappreciated by the relationship partner that I feel you might have the tendency to stray, okay? So what I'm feeling is in the past, it seems that you were looking for relationships that were very, very like emotionally, they come with a lot of highs and lows. And that is indicated by the Temperance card. It's like emotional fluctuation, excitement, you know, that adrenaline rush, okay? So a lot of you might have been looking for that. And this can play out in two ways. So I feel like for, let's just say for those of you who are dating men, okay, because I have a lot of female clients in general. Let's just say for those of you who are dating men, I feel like you might have, you know, a tendency to be attracted to men that are not emotionally available. So when they come, your world is like lit up. When they're not around, you feel like you're in this this dark spot. So that in itself is an emotional roller coaster. It's an emotional high and low. And it's a form of addiction as well, you know. Like once you hit like a low spot, you're looking for them, you're texting them, you're looking for validation, and you're trying to get yourself back like chemically in a balanced environment where you feel that adrenaline rush again, that high. So this is something to be very mindful about. Make sure your relationships are healthy. This emotional, constant emotional high and low, it's not going to be good for you. It's not stable and it's not healthy. So just be very careful about that in all of your relationships, not just love, in all of your relationships. Make sure things are balanced, okay? Make sure you're happy and make sure that you're not just putting on a brave face when you are sweeping things under the rug. And if you're not happy about something, please just say it up front, because I feel like there's this whole sense about, you know, you or another person wearing a mask and masking your feelings, masking your intentions. And I feel like playing it cool, you know, like not trying to reveal too much of, like you can like somebody and you don't want to, you know, reveal how you feel about them because you feel like it makes you feel weak and vulnerable and at their disposal. So the pretenses are definitely going to need to be squared away for this month if you want to have a much healthier communication and balanced relationship, okay? What I'm also feeling is the relationship was not, you know, emotionally nurturing. It might have been very physically gratifying, exciting, but it's not emotionally balanced and emotionally fulfilling. This was something that you were dealing with for quite some time, and I feel like there's this 180 turn where you're looking for a lot more stability. You're starting to realize, you know, who was there for me through the rough times, and you know, like who actually really took care of me, and I want that person. So I feel like you've been through some, but I feel like the lesson is coming back in again because of something that was not learned properly the first time. So this is going to extend to like a very small minority, but I still feel that the message applies, you know. Do things in moderation and just be careful about overindulging, okay? So enough about that. Let's talk about your future position. In terms of what's coming in for you in love and relationships, we do have the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords indicates to me a victory. So this is basically severing ties and going and charting out new territories, okay? So for some of you, you might have some very, very good news that are coming through, some type of a communication coming through between you and another person. And you might be scoping out somebody in your environment that is very much interested in you, okay? I pulled out a card to clarify, and we do have the Empress here. The Empress is in the reverse position. Both of these cards indicate to me that somebody is giving their power away. First of all, you're cutting ties, right? You're cutting ties from the past. You're scoping out new territories, and you're letting new people in. A lot of you might be trying to reach out to a fire sign, a Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries. And I feel that you've got some reciprocal communication coming through from their end, and you might be going back to it, okay? And I'm feeling that there's this sense of like initial awkwardness when you encounter one another again with the Empress. And you might feel like, I feel like You might also sense that there's this initial awkwardness, when you rekindle with a person that you've been involved with in the past. And I do sense because of it, there's that initial sense of awkwardness. You will overcome it and you will get a lot of good communication, honest, truthful communication as well coming through from them. And what I'm feeling is for others of you, you are severing ties, okay? Especially I feel like if you have been dealing with somebody who actually just didn't have time for you, you're going to look into other situations where you're with somebody who might not have lingering attachments. They might have a lot less like cord of attachments bound in with them, okay? I also feel the Empress deals with like physical attraction. So this is someone who's very, very fertile, very attractive, and it can be male or female. And it's somebody who's very like, what you see is pretty much what you get. I mean, she's got her heart on the shield, so she's very easygoing. She's very like out there. She is also just really, I'm feeling like, up for, like, on display, When it shows up in the reverse, I feel like it's somebody that might not want children, okay? In the reverse, it's the opposite of that fertility. And it might just be someone who's older, who is like not at a point where they can have children. Or there might be some type of, I feel like, parental issue. So they might not have children, or they might have children with another person, but the children are not in the picture. So some type of variation concerning the new person that you're dealing with. And I feel like physically they might be outside of your usual type as well, okay? And let me see if, can you help me clarify the Ace of Swords? I'm actually confused about this. Okay. And what is causing this? Okay, so what I'm feeling is, like whatever that past situation is, you are healing from it. So you're definitely becoming like severing ties. Somebody has really hurt you in the past. You're getting over it. You're breaking free from, I feel potentially, you're breaking free from bondage, and you're no longer bound to that past person, and you're scoping out new territory that are completely, you're dating new people that are completely outside of your usual type, okay? So what I'm feeling is this. You might be, like earlier, you might have drifted away from either a water sign or a fire sign altogether, okay? Water sign, fire sign. And we have a lot of signs in the zodiac that are showing up here. We have all the elements. But what I'm feeling is you're dating somebody who is completely out of the left field, outside of your normal type, okay? Like, I feel like physically they're just very, very different from the women that you're women or the men that you've dated, okay? So I feel like this is a good break for you, and it's something that I feel is really worth pursuing. For those of you in committed relationships, if you are trying to get pregnant, I definitely feel some major breakthrough is going to come through. We have here the Victory card, and it's also the card about inception, okay? I feel like birth and conception coming through for you guys. So it looks very, very positive. The relationship, if you've had troubles in the past, I definitely feel that this is a time in which couples are meeting each other halfway, compromising, and like, rekindling the love once again. Because I feel like deep down, you are very loyal to people. If you know that someone has been there for you through thick and thin, you will treat them right. And I feel like that's what's happening here. You're getting to the rudimentary, level of like, who are my friends? Who really cares about me? Who has been there for me when I had nothing? So I feel like you're coming to the realization that you are going to have to value the people that put you first.